Morning, what you think about this story. Police in Birmingham say they will not get rid of more than 200 surveillance cameras in a number of areas which are largely Muslim. Local people were told the cameras, mainly in the Washwood Heath and Sparkbrook wards, were primarily for dealing with antisocial behaviour. In fact, they were paid for with money earmarked for the prevention of terrorism. The cameras are out of use at the moment, but these people from the area aren't happy with the scheme.
If there's 70 hidden cameras now, what makes you say that they won't do it in again 6 months? And further down the line, they won't even put a camera right looking at your window.
If they wanted to secure the area so much, they should have bring police into the area.
Not cameras.
Like, keep the area secure by, police cars or something, but not cameras.
Corinna Ferguson is a lawyer from Liberty, and Robin Simcox is from the Centre for Social Cohesion and the author of Islamist Terrorism, The British Connections, which looks at homegrown terrorism, including in the area of Birmingham. Morning to both of you.
Morning.
Is the problem, Corinna, that the way these cameras were funded originally, or the very fact of them?
Well, there was clearly a major problem in the way that the police and the council dealt with this in terms of communicating with the community, because the community were misled as to the purpose of the scheme, and so were the councillors themselves. They were told, as you said in your introduction, that this was about general crime and disorder. But quite apart from that...
Were they lied to, in your view?
They were, and I think that is now clear, and apologies have been made for that. But there is a broader issue, and that is that this unprecedented scheme targets these areas based on their race or religion. In our view, that is not a proper way of dealing with a perceived terrorist threat. And you certainly don't defeat extremism by targeting communities in this way. It's not just targeting suspects, it's targeting a vast number of innocent people and making them feel like they're suspects, and that's bound to be counterproductive in the overall goal.
Robin Simcox?
Well, I think you've got to look at three things on this. Have we got a problem with terrorism and extremism in the UK? I think the government, the police and security service would all say that is a very real problem. Can CCTV be useful in this? And major terrorist cases have shown time and time again that CCTV has been crucial in gaining convictions, including in 21/7 and in the fertiliser case. And is Birmingham an area where this has also been a problem? Unfortunately, it is. It's small pockets of Birmingham, but there have been 12% of all terrorist convictions between 1999 and 2009 involve people who were residents in Birmingham. Now, we can wish
12%?
12%. Which is the second most behind London.
How does CCTV stop them being terrorists?
Well, I mean, the CCTV is crucial, really, in gaining the convictions. CCTV can't change people's ideology, which is what this is. People follow an ideology. But it can be useful in a counter-terrorism way of gaining convictions, and it has been time and time again.
Corinna?
No one's saying that CCTV can never be useful. Of course it can, but it has to be used appropriately, and it has to be used proportionately. And quite apart from CCTV, the police have powers to keep people who are suspects under surveillance, and they have extensive powers to do that, and that can be directed surveillance, which is much more effective and much more proportionate. And a scheme like this, which depends heavily on ANPR cameras, which track people's number plates, is going to be very easy to evade, because it completely depends on the person that you're looking for driving a car that happens to be registered in their name.
What are the sinister implications of this? I mean, many people say, look, if you've done nothing wrong, you've got nothing to worry about. What are you worried about?
Well, I think we've had a number of examples recently that really explode that nothing to hide, nothing to fear mantra. And I think innocent people do have quite a lot to fear from this sort of over-intrusive surveillance. And whether it's, people's personal data being lost in the post, or councils using surveillance powers
there are plenty of non-Muslims,
to enforce school catchment area
Let me
policies.
just make this point to Robin Simcox. There are plenty of non-Muslims in the area who live there who object to this, not because they think they're being judged to be terrorists, but because they don't want to be watched at such close quarters. It's not like normal CCTV cameras, which have been put there because there has been a spate of crime in a particular area.
And we're all being watched all the time, aren't we?
We are. I mean, of course... Is
that a good thing?
I don't think it's a good thing. I mean, we don't want it to fall into a kind of state-controlled CCTV, but I don't think that'll happen. I can see the residents why they wouldn't want it. Of course they can. But I think from the police's point of view, what do? There is a high percentage of level of terrorism have come from this kind of area. Now, you can wish that away, or you can focus on certain areas rather than a blanket.
But a more
policing
general
approach.
point, I think, is important for people, rather than just, individual communities feeling targeted. What about the entire population? Is it a choice? I mean, has CCTV been an effective tool against crime?
I mean, I look from a counter-terrorism view, and it has. I think it has. It's been proved at least 7 cases CCTV has been crucial in gaining convictions. Of course, you don't want its expansion, but I think one of the good things about democracies like Britain is this self-correcting mechanism we have. In Birmingham, people protested. They're now not in use anymore, and so it hasn't been a fantastic situation for Birmingham.
But the number of times we see the news or we see crime watches, we see CCTV footage of people who have subsequently been convicted. Away from terrorism, the broader crime question, it works, doesn't it?
Well, as I said, it can be useful in some cases, but it's become a bit of an addiction. And over the last 10 years, we've had a massive expansion in the use of all sorts of types of surveillance cameras, not only CCTV, but also these ANPR cameras. And they're gathering huge amounts of personal data on innocent people. And we really think that this case shows that we now need proper regulation. The coalition government said it's committed to doing that, and we look forward to seeing their proposals.
OK, well, thank you. We're going to discuss this after 9 o'clock on the phone, so make sure you listen.
We will.